Welcome to the Ultra World Podcast, the soccer fan's voice from the stands, with your hosts, Marc and Sean Castles, coming to you from Radio Waves Studios in New York City. Now, let's kick off the show.
And hi again, everybody. I am indeed Marc with Sean Castles alongside, and as we head into part 2 with the Soccer Sharps, Sean, we're going to talk about indoor soccer, the Major Indoor Soccer League, MISL, and I might have alluded to it already, but just in case, I talked about Steve Jungle and his heroics for the New York Arrows, and at the time we recorded this interview, it happened to be on that date, the 37th anniversary of Steve Jungle scoring 7 goals in a playoff game against Philadelphia. He lifted the New York Arrows to a 14-7 win.
And let's just jump right into it with Devin and Jordan here on the Indoor Soccer League.
Did you guys get into, for a brief while, I remember in the 90s, our dad used to take us to indoor soccer.
Oh, yeah.
It was like arena soccer. We had a team in the Phoenix.
It was the Major Indoor Soccer League, the MISL.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. And we had the Sand Sharks out here, and it was a lot of fun. I remember as a kid really enjoying it.
We had the best team in history, the New York Arrows, who played at Nassau Coliseum. Shep Messing, the former Cosmo, was their goalie, and they had a guy, the Canalia/Pele/Ronaldo of that era was a guy named Steve Jungle.
Unreal.
Zungul. And he was like the Wayne Gretzky of indoor soccer.
Fabulous. I love it. And that's what it was like. You know, you compare it to Gretzky, it was like hockey, right? Because you had the wall. You can use the wall. That becomes, you know, like an extra man. Very interesting. It was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed playing. That's the one. I didn't play regular soccer when I was, like up until like 7 or 8. But I did enjoy club indoor soccer with the kind of more Nerf ball and the walls. That was always much more fun.
Yeah, it's very cool.
A lot more action.
By the way, for the California contingent, Jungle actually did wind up, after the Arrows, playing for the Golden Bay Earthquakes and the Sockers in San Diego.
San Diego Sockers.
The San Diego Sockers that's a name.
That was Sockers, for those who are interested.
Oh, single K.
It's up there with the Washington Football Club.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, Jordan and I like to do that. We do this bit. I don't know if anyone probably really gets it, but we we just think it's funny that we call it soccer, and I don't think anyone else does. Maybe in like Australia they do, but we always pronounce it with this like aggressive American accent. Soccer.
Soccer.
Like, hey, welcome to the soccer
American
Sharps.
soccer.
That's why I enjoy that, because I'm like, I feel a little more Americanized here. We go back and forth when people will when I'm going to interview them at the bars, I'll be like, what's your soccer like? Football. I'm like, all right, football. I'm not gonna argue here. I'm the interloper.
Yeah.
What's funny about it is that some Brits don't even know that they created the word soccer. It was not Americans. It was the Brits.
Really?
They came up with it. So they're always, and most of them, I shouldn't say most of them, a lot of them don't know that, which I find funny. But they do call it soccer in other places. Ghana, South Africa, Dev said Australia.
Well, Australia, because they also have football, so they call it Australia.
Yeah.
And the Socceroos.
We'll be on. I mean, listen, it should be called football. I think we can all agree. It's just, it makes a lot of sense for what the game is.
You'd think. I mean, I love American
But
football.
then what would you call the game in America? Throw ball?
Tackle.
Gridiron.
Tackle ball. Full-fledged combat.
Not so much anymore.
No,
Too many rules now.
I know I'm getting older because I watch now and I'm like, oh, it's this. That's not a foul. Come on.
What was that?
I'm gonna
Same
flag
with
that ref. In my day, Ed Reed used to take a guy's head off, and we cheered about it.
They used to take him out at the knee. It was a cutting block was allowed. That was part of the game. Had you ever seen North Dallas 40?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Love
yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
That is one of the more hardcore. I remember watching that again like 4 or 5 years ago and be like, these guys are killing each other.
And you couldn't appreciate all the drugs that they were getting shot up with when you were a kid because it
No.
came out in the late 70s.
Yeah.
You couldn't really appreciate all of these painkillers that they were hopped up on. But now, those of us of a certain age who need them on a fairly regular basis just to roll out of bed, we can sympathize with what these guys were going through. And I still hear from NFL guys who, because of the changing in the schedules where you're playing sometimes a Sunday and a Thursday, a lot of them say you are still feeling Sunday's game on Wednesday, which is one of the reasons they've mandated Tuesdays off, because you really need the recovery day. But if you're playing a Sunday and a Thursday, it stays with you for another couple of weeks after that.
So you're saying they're a bunch of pussies?
No, not
huh?
at all. I'm saying it's you're basically you're looking at and we were talking before we started taping about sports cars, but you're basically looking at a Camaro and a Mack truck colliding on a regular basis, 50 times a game, and you're going to feel it. No, it's much
Oh, of
different. It's a
course.
much different game. You see the old highlights, the black and white with Dick Butkus clotheslining somebody and then standing over a lifeless
Yeah.
corpse, basically. But it's not so much like that anymore. And I'm thinking of who was the guy on the Eagles who did that to Frank Gifford.
Reggie White? No, Reggie White.
No. This is back in the 50s and 60s. He just passed away a couple of years ago. But that was, you look at this clothesline and Frank Gifford basically looks like a crash test dummy who's just lifeless on the field at Yankee Stadium. And, you don't have hits like that anymore. You notice ESPN got rid of the, you got trucked highlight
I
packages.
forgot about that.
Because guys were getting, so badly concussed. And obviously they're, most people on the planet outside of Cam Scatabo on the Giants are taking CTE and concussions fairly seriously. But
Arizona State's
to
own.
turn it back to turn it back to soccer, you see guys writhing on the ground after they get stepped on. And listen, getting spiked on the top of the foot is not comfortable, but it's certainly not tantamount to getting clotheslined and knocked unconscious.
I love the theatrics. I love the huge difference
No.
between European and the South American. Like when they had those the Euro Cup and the CONCACAF Cup, and like it would.
Oh man,
Right?
that was great.
It'd be like Spain and France, and like they're smooth, and then you get to the night, and it's like Argentina and Uruguay, and they're beating the crap out of each other, and there's not a
Oh
single
man, we loved it. Jordan and I, we were covering that when both those tournaments were going on. It was like you woke up in the morning and you watched this like beautiful tactical soccer, and then you'd take a quick nap, pour yourself a beer, and like light up a cigarette and get ready for the
Yep,
The knife fight.
it's a knife
for
fight.
the CONMEBOL games, because it was just an absolute, just a fight. But it's funny that people, they say the same thing in soccer too. They're like, game's gone. Back in my day, you used to be able to actually do challenges and like get stuck in, and so I guess it's just everybody.
Even without it,
Maybe it's
though,
just a product of being older.
We're all pussies now. We're
By the way, I want to save all
Yeah.
the angry emails and social media posts. It was Chuck Bednarik who laid out Frank Gifford. All-time
Chuck Bednar.
all-time a highlight. Yeah, it's just tremendous. Frank, I'm sure, didn't remember it and did not like to relive it when people told him about it.
Yeah.
But it was. Look it up, Chuck Bednarik and Frank Gifford. Just
I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'll definitely
Hellacious.
pull
Oh,
it
yeah,
up
it's everywhere.
after. But I want to touch on, while it isn't as physical, in the soccer world, the sheer amount of games that these guys are playing at the top level is just getting ridiculous. And Dev and I, we can actually track it in our betting record, our profit and loss. That's one thing. We're fully transparent with all our bets. Everything that we do, win or lose, goes on our spreadsheets. We have the links to them. People can look them up. But you can see we started off really successful. We've had winning seasons for the majority of the seasons we've been doing this. But these last couple years, we're down massively this year, but that's also partly due to a format change, which I think we're going to rethink. But last season as well, you can see there's kind of like a direct correlation between the amount of games being played and our betting success going down. So, and it's just expanding more. We're about to go into an expanded World Cup with 48 teams. It's just, they're not giving these guys a break. It
Never.
just keeps adding up. We had a Club World Cup last season. It's just so many games. And you talk about Sunday to Thursday, that happens as well, right? If you're playing in the Champions League and then your domestic league, you've got Wednesday, Saturday, or if you're in Europa League, Thursday, Sunday. It's a lot.
It's a
And then
lot.
you have domestic cups. It's crazy.
And it's worth talking about. There is a reason that you can change out your engine in your car. It's very expensive, but cars die. There's a certain amount of mileage you're going to get, and people are very much the same. There's a certain amount of mileage you're going to get out of your body. It doesn't matter how well you take care of it. I mean, I've known people who've had, close to 1 million miles on their vehicles. I've known other people who drove theirs into the ground 50,000 miles. Okay, you.
Me this weekend.
But I mean, the fact of the matter is, no matter how well conditioned you are, you've got a certain shelf life. And if you're playing too many games and getting too many reps, there's going to be wear and tear. And, bodies are not built, human bodies, at least right now, until AI takes over. We're not conditioned. No matter how well we're conditioned, we're not conditioned for that kind of wear and tear.
It's amazing how much. I mean, they don't get a break because as soon as just like you said, Jordan, international break comes in. Like, hey, everyone else is getting a break. I'm going to see Brazil, France on Thursday up at Foxborough. All those guys, all those all-stars are not getting a week off to rest their bodies.
Right. Yeah, we had there was a stat. Julian Alvarez, forward for Atletico Madrid in Argentina, and played 74 games in that World Cup year. It's just
too much.
Ridiculous.
It's too much.
It's insane.
And then I think like the PSG guys. So if you were like a high level PSG player who plays internationally every game, you haven't had, I think, more than it was like 10 days off in 3 years.
That's crazy.
I mean, Barcola played in the Olympics after that. I know Barcola's not even the top of the French team, but he's, every game he plays for them. It's unbelievable. I'm surprised there's not more injuries. I'm surprised that someone like Ronaldo and Messi are these all-time guys who are just going in. That's a note to medicine and science nowadays.
Well, you also don't want Messi. He's had hamstring issues and missed time for soft tissue things.
We've also just been blessed, like in our eras, to watch some of these guys that are just the Iron Men, right? I mean,
absolutely.
LeBron James, Tom Brady, Messi, Ronaldo, guys that just are always there, and we kind of take it for granted. And Pep Guardiola said it one time that I thought was really brilliant. He was like, you don't get tired in the legs. It's not that their muscles are tired. He's like, you get tired up here. And there's so much pressure on these players, particularly when you're representing your country and you trot out there. It's like, yeah, it's going to weigh on you, and then mistakes happen, and I think the quality suffers. Like it's not as fun to watch, and then we fucking lose money on it because
Stoppage.
Liverpool put everything into the Galatasaray game, and then they lose to Brighton on the weekend, and it's just infuriating because you're like, well, where was the team that we thought we were betting on because we just saw them against Galatasaray?
Yep. I've started to, mainly because of you guys, was learning that, okay, if this guy's playing in the Champions League, this team's playing in the Champions League, and they got an extra game, start looking at who their opponent is and put a little bit more on the handicap.
Well, it's funny you bring up Brighton. I'm watching the other day, and Danny Welbeck has 2 more goals, and they're talking about how he's having his best year in forever, and, he's 35. This is his 17th year. Again, he's not playing a lot of these other extra matches, so he's got more left in the tank than other guys his age.
Yeah.
He's not even on the international squad. I mean, that's how deep the English squad is, that he's not even making he hasn't made it in a while. But yeah, no, it is. It's at that little bit of extra the legs. All right, bringing us back here. What team, I'm dying to know this, what team should you never bet on?
We've had so many that we've...
Yeah.
We had a season where we would not bet Arsenal for or against. That was a couple seasons back. Sevilla. We had Sevilla on Fraud Watch.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Who is it this season that we're just done with?
PSG for me, I haven't gotten a PSG game right in years.
Oh, God.
They're always favored, so their handicap's really big. But then they can be got, and I could never guess it right. So just stick to the goals, Mark. Just stick to a total for them. But
Fulham is another one. Don't bet Fulham games. When you think they're going to win, they lose. When you bet them to lose, they win. It's brutal.
It's always one of the harder ones because I do want to bet on Fulham. I'm like, oh, you know what?
Right.
They're rested. They're not in the UCL, and then they take a chunk out of my wallet.
Yeah.
All right. What fan base or what fan base is way too nice?
Are any of them?
I know. I was like, maybe there's. I feel like there's got to be
Nice.
one. Like they're just a little too open, and that says something there that we're like scratching our heads here.
Yeah, actually, the Brighton fans, I have to say, Brighton fans, I don't interact with a lot of them over here, but online, certainly, they've got a good bunch. They're always very gracious. When West Ham are coming head to head with them, I'll watch some of their fan previews and stuff. Always have nice things to say. And when they beat us, they commiserate well. So shout out to Brighton fans.
They do a little doff of the cap and say thanks thanks for the match.
Yeah.
All right. What team has the most resilient fans?
Burnley.
This year for sure. They're still going out every game.
The Chumbawambas. They get knocked out and they get up again.
Yeah, jeez. Who are the Browns
resilient.
of English football?
Right.
Oh, God.
Or the Jets?
I mean, Wolverhampton's come back a little bit. They from relegation all the way to charging in there. I would almost think West Ham was on death's door, and at least they're fighting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been relegated a couple times since I've been a fan, and could happen again this season. Hope not. But, yeah, definitely shout out to the West Ham fans, but wouldn't want to say my own fan base. Resilient... Leeds fans?
Oh,
Leeds
a good
fans
one.
were exiled for a long time after being on top of the world. Took them forever to get back to the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great Leeds movie. Those old Leeds team with Michael Sheen.
The Damned United.
The Damned United.
Great movie.
It's a great movie.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I was gonna say Sunderland because
Yeah.
they were like a powerhouse for a while. Went way down. I think they were down in maybe like the National League level. There was a Netflix documentary that just
Yeah.
kept showing them dropping, and I was like, this is a rough watch.
Which is incredible, actually, to go back and watch it because it starts off as just, oh, we're doing a documentary about a team. But they just kept failing and getting worse and worse. So then it became like car crash viewing. You're just like, oh, I can't wait to see if they drop again this year. And the show would come out.
It's the opposite of the Wrexham one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But pretty incredible that happened. It's actually well worth watching. It's a good series.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, yeah. Sunderland Till I Die.
Sunderland Till I Die. I'm putting that on the list there because I've been trying to get a list of soccer movies and soccer documentaries that are not like a season following, but like, a self-encompassed piece there to watch there.
There's another really good one on Leeds United, actually, called We Are Leeds United, narrated by Tom Hardy.
Ooh.
It's about when they were trying to get back into the Prem. Really good.
Is
It's
that
like
Tom
2
Hardy's
seasons.
team? Is he Leeds United fan?
I don't think so. I think they just wanted a name for the narrator.
I mean,
But it's possible.
does he mumble the whole time through? Is he just like,
No, he sounds good.
He's wearing the Bane mask. Yeah.
He's not in character.
He's
yeah.
not in character. I love Tom Hardy, but he loves to mumble. He just like listen to his next movie. He's like, I'm like, what did he say? Is that Nick Nolte now? Yeah. All right, this is the one I really like doing out there, and actually a lot of people usually pick the same team. But what fans would you not want to meet in a dark alley?
I met an Everton fan one time at a house party in Los Angeles. He had a big Everton crest tattooed on his arm, and I was very young and naive, and I was like, "Oh, are you an Everton fan? I like Tottenham." And he looks at me, like terrifying looking man, stares at me for a long time, and he goes, "Are you a Jew?"
Oh God!
And I was like, "Oh boy, I've stepped into something I am not
God.
prepared for."
That's down the dark alley there.
That's the
Yeah,
dark
so
alley.
I'll go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say any of those aforementioned South American club fans, those guys are or any Serbian football team fans. Some of those ultras are just terrifying. Wouldn't want to run into them.
They said a story back in the day when Russia had the World Cup. Supposedly, the 4 year before that, Russia sent all their ultras to find the English fans and fight with them, so that the English fans would know, don't come to Russia because this is what will happen. Like, that's like one of the more disturbing things I've heard from that Russian World Cup. They're like, we're sending these people out 4 years. This little hooligan army 4 years in advance, search out all the English fans and make sure they don't show up here next 4 years from now.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of
They
terrifying.
probably deserve it.
The
though.
international stuff is like, yeah, that's like almost too much. Did you guys see the Attack on Wembley doc
No.
about the Euro final where it was England versus Italy, and there's this Italian man with his daughter, and he's just like wanted to have a nice time at the match, and he's just getting harassed the whole way. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's like NFL football games now. That's why I don't go to the NFL games, because
Well, that's just Eagles fans.
Just the Eagles, yeah. You East Coasters, you guys are the hard ones out here.
they're crazy.
Yeah,
No.
the sun's shining. We're having
The
fun.
Patriots, it doesn't matter what, there's tailgating going on, and then there's the beer muscles that come out midway through. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Maybe I need to come out to the Arizona games. I will. Don't hate me, guys. I'm a Los Angeles Rams fan because I grew up
Oh, that's great.
as a Rams fan, and then they went off to St. Louis, and I was like, okay, I don't care anymore. And then they came back to LA, so I joined back up with that. But I'm also, my other team is the Jets, so
Whoa.
I feel like they kind of even it out there.
Yeah, balanced.
We tried. We were discussing what Spursy meant when we were doing the Spurs episode, and we were trying to relate it to the Jets. And then we realized that Spursy also means doing really good things too that you don't expect.
Right.
And there's no such thing as the Jets doing something really good.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, my first thought for Spursy would be the Browns, where they just don't have it. Even the times they've been kind of competitive, you're just not really ever afraid.
nope. No, they can make. I mean, what was that Baker Mayfield year? They made it to they won a playoff game.
Yeah, actually, the Cardinals, Dev, are probably a closer comp because they,
Oh,
at
God.
least made the Super Bowl, kind of like Spurs making the Champions League final, but never really, they always bottle it.
And not for nothing, they should have won that game. I have the stop-action photo of Santonio Holmes making the winning touchdown catch,
Oh, yeah.
where he only has 1 foot down.
Oh.
So the Cardinals got totally screwed.
Ugh.
Well, they also converted 2 fourth downs on that drive. There was a 99-yard pick six. So a lot of places we could look at for ways that went wrong.
And all the things that Ben Roethlisberger has done off the field too that we won't bring up.
Well, don't worry. It's not like the owner of the Cardinals is good person. None of these owners. That's the thing is, like, I get it. They're like, oh, this player did something bad. And I'm not excusing illegal behavior, of course, but everybody's a scumbag. This is what sports, this is what the world is now.
Look at Robert Kraft in the Orchid Day Spa. Come on now,
Yep.
There you go.
I was just thinking the same thing.
That's the first thing that pops up in my head. My wife is from Boston. She's a stand-up comic, so I get it's interesting. Yankees, Red Sox, Jets, Patriots. So, but she doesn't care that much. But they always win, and then she'll like to point it in my face. Like she doesn't watch all year, and then my team goes up against hers.
Oh,
they
she
win.
watches when it matters.
She watches when it matters. That's right. In the Super Bowl.
Sounds like an ideal relationship, actually. It sounds
Yeah,
great.
Fellas, anything else you want to touch on before we say bye-bye?
A lot of fun, guys. Appreciate it. I'll just say, check us out on your podcast apps, your YouTube, The Soccer Sharps. Basically, that name everywhere. Even if you're not into gambling, it's fun to listen to just to get some of the perspective of what's going on. So I think it's a good way. It's always a good way to analyze the games and have an understanding. You walk into a room, and if you don't really know what's going on, you look at the screen, you go, okay, well, who's the favorite? And you can say, well, this team's favorite. It gives you like a context to watch sports. So I always say we're an entertainment podcast while we talk about the games and the matches. Like you're not going to get rich betting on sports. The markets are too sharp. So.
No, it's a sucker. Even though we enjoy doing it, but you guys do a great job of laying out the weekends or the week's games. I will say for any listener, and not just Premier League, you go across the leagues, and there is always some really, really great content on each game that I look for. So I will say you guys do your research, and it's really fantastic.
Oh, thanks, bud.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And then we will dip into some random like Liga mid-table action that I can't name 2 players on the teams, and Jordan wants to put it on the show because he's got an angle, and we've got to cover Elche versus Celta Vigo, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Hey, before we let you go, I'm dying to know. Obviously, a lot of what you guys do, it's enhanced by the fact that you're brothers. You have this obviously lifelong relationship. But if you weren't brothers, would you be doing a podcast together?
That's interesting. Would we be doing a podcast together if we didn't have COVID at the same time on our parents' couch?
Yeah.
Great question. I know Dev and I have always been pretty collaborative, I guess.
Okay.
We've done some goofy music projects together. I used to have a true crime podcast. Dev came on a couple of times. We talked about stuff. So I'd like to think yes.
I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah, I would say yes.
My brother's my best friend, so we love a good brother story on here on the Ultra World podcast.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I love to hear it.
Well, let me ask you guys a question before you get going.
Yeah.
If we were brothers, we would not be doing this show.
If you guys, all right, well, I'll give you 2. Who's winning the Champions League and who's winning the World Cup?
All right.
Keep it easy for you.
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
First? All right, I'll go first with the Champions League, and you go first with the World Cup. Champions League. While I want to say Arsenal, it's not. It's going to be. I want to say Real Madrid pulls something out because they always freaking pull something out. But I think this is Bayern's year. I actually do think this is Bayern years. I'd like to see Harry Kane win something more than just the Bundesliga. So I'm going to go with Bayern.
I was thinking Arsenal.
Okay.
So you're going Arsenal. All right. What's your World Cup team?
The World Cup team to win the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
What are we, 3 months out?
I know who it won't be.
No, more than that.
I know who it won't be.
The US?
It will not be the red, white, and blue.
Well, certainly that.
It could very well be the Bleu Blanc et Rouge,
Yeah.
There you go.
but it will not be the red, white, and blue.
You're going France? I mean,
Yeah.
France is really tough
Yeah.
not to. My dad is from Argentina. I'm not going to jump on that. They won before. That Spain team's so good,
Yeah.
top to bottom. Yamin Yamal has been playing. He's got the Adidas ball already, or actually, I used to work. Adidas is what it's supposedly.
Yeah.
The client would tell me, like, no, it's not allowed to be Adidas. When you're on the phone with them, you got to call it Adidas.
Adi Dassler, that was his name.
Yeah, and so when I tell regular people this, they tell me to shut up. But it is Adidas. But he got the ball a year in advance, and there's something to say if you got the ball and you can play around with it. Those guys are all. So I'm gonna go Spain, Yamal, and I love the Williams brothers. Even though they don't play on Spain together, I'm a big Nico and Inaki Williams fan.
That's great.
So where are you guys leaning?
I didn't know that about the ball. That's really interesting because I remember when the Jabulani for the South Africa World Cup, that was like the crazy ball, and I think it was the Uruguay team.
It was
Yeah,
Furlan.
Furlan got to mess around with the ball, and then he won the Golden Boot and with some absolute bangers
Yeah.
in that tournament.
Funny thing about Adidas too, just as you mentioned, it's Adi Dassler. When I was a kid, when I was playing soccer, we had the Adidas balls. And kids back then, I guess it was just made up, but we didn't have the internet to look things up. And kids used to say, "Oh no, it's called Adidas because it stands for All Day I Dream About Soccer."
I heard that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that sounds completely legit. So I believe that forever, and I was shamed for it later on.
I was shamed. The clients or the account manager pulled me into a room.
Adidas, you have to say with a
Adidas.
German accent too. I mean,
Yeah, doing the German accent. That's right.
yeah, Adidas.
That is right. In the Bundesliga, we got the Adidas. All right, who do you guys have? Who are you taking UCL, and who are you guys taking in the World Cup?
I would love to see Bayern Munich win. I agree. I'm gonna say it's PSG back to back. And then for the World Cup, I'm gonna go Spain.
Yeah.
I'll go Arsenal to win the Champions League,
All right.
and
Don't say France.
England to win the World Cup on American soil.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
The Lions.
I like it coming home. It's coming home.
I actually like the idea. I mean, England's team is just so stacked. I think Tuchel is like the right man for the job to get it over the line. The thing I worry about is 80% humidity and 95 degrees on July 17th or whatever in outdoors in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can do
It's
it.
gonna be really hot. It gets really hot here in the summer. I
But they're
will say.
taking the quarter break.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a whole
That's
quarter break.
Why did they not why is the final not at SoFi? Like I get New York's
Yeah.
the big city, but it's not even in New York, right?
No,
The-
it's
No, it's
not.
in Jersey.
Right.
But you can see the New York City skyline from the upper
Yeah.
deck.
And it's a nightmare to get out of. It's an absolute nightmare. I
Well, you
went-
can't park there anyway, so it doesn't
That's
matter.
true. That's true. It's I don't know why. SoFi is a better experience too, and I'm not a huge fan of the Meadowlands. So
Yeah, you talked about that on one of your podcasts I listened to recently. You were talking about how there was a Super Bowl there and people couldn't get out.
I mean,
for-
literally,
Yeah.
there are people still waiting on the train platform, and it's been 12 years. They're,
Yep.
they're still waiting for the train to show up. Now, it's been bad, but they have promised and sworn, and they've done a lot of infrastructure improvements with the rail system going in and out and with the pedestrian walkways. So they are promising that it'll be better this time, but it possibly could not be worse than it was for Super Bowl 48.
it takes forever to get out of there. I'm literally going to Foxborough this Thursday, and they're having an issue. I know we're
Well, they always have issues because you only have one lane in and one
They're also
basically
not
one way
paying-
in, one way out, like 2 lanes each, right?
Yeah, but on top of that, for the World Cup, the town of Foxborough goes, we're not
Yeah.
paying for security. We are not putting up money.
Well, because they
And
were promised the money, right? That's what I heard. That they were told
they were
gonna-
promised, whoever closed it. Yeah, they were promised that they'd have this. I think it's like 6-8 million. Now I don't blame the people of Foxborough if they were like, "Hey, we're gonna take this out of your pocket, Sean." I'd be like, "No,
Yeah.
unless I'm getting free tickets to the game, which they're clearly
Yeah,
not."
FIFA is just a disaster. FIFA is so corrupt.
Really,
just
is. Them and the IOC.
That's
they get
that's a
run
whole
for it.
other
Right,
episode.
exactly.
Yeah, bring us back for that one.
We'll get
'cause-
into sports washing another time.
Yeah, we will scream about FIFA for a long time if we come back
Yeah,
for
We'll
that
see.
one.
We'll see. And feel free to poke me with any questions or anything like that. And of course, if you guys are in New York City at any time, please hit me up. I would love to see
What
you
am I,
guys
chopped
personally.
liver? I'm sitting.
Yeah, you're in Jersey.
Oh, I'm sorry. So far away. I wish we had, something other than a horse and buggy to get us across the river. Oh man.
That'd be good.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
be
that'd be
nice.
great.
Yeah, I love on your pod when I listen to it, the when you're doing the live like on scene interviews, and you
Yeah.
can just tell people are in their cups on some of those. "Oh, let me tell you about it." It's great.
I try and get it really in the halftime, like so they've had a few because it's early, so
Yes.
no one's. But at 10 a.m. no one's really drinking, and so it's like. But when it's like the 12:30 game, like the Arsenal O'Hanlon's game, like at the end of that, people were just like, they
Oh,
were.
yeah. Love a Sunday day drunk.
Oh yeah, especially at 10 in the morning here.
Yeah.
You guys got it at
Oh, yeah.
7, so
Oh, geez.
We've definitely done it before.
Well, guys, Devin and Jordan, thanks for coming on. For Marc or Nay, I'm Sean Castles. Thanks for listening, audience.
This has been the Ultra World Podcast, the soccer fan's voice from the stands, with your hosts, Marc Renee and Sean Castles. Our executive producer is Sue Zizza. Marc Renee and Sean Castles are co-producers. David Shin is our master engineer. Assistant producer Avery Gehrig, and I'm Alicia Antwine. To be a guest on the Ultra World Podcast or learn all about sponsorship opportunities, send an email to ultraworldpod@gmail.com. Be sure to follow the show on all the social media platforms at Ultra World Pod. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved, Ultra World Podcast, LLC.